Hi everyone, we are back with another episode of AM2R. We are not going to destroy that Omega Metroid from the part before. You can see, here's my map, you can see up in the top right corner of this section of the map, there is a red alien marking. I killed the Metroid, I did it, it's there. I messed up the recording.
Sure.
That's how it goes.
Sure,
right?
Dan. One word, Photoshop.
Listen, you are gonna see me destroy some Omega Metroids in this recording. So obviously I have done the training necessary to figure out the Omega Metroid pattern.
Sure.
It's just not on camera.
Yeah,
right?
one word, Dan. Editing. Compositing. It's all a lie.
I just stole a bunch of Let's Plays of other Let's Plays and just spliced them into this video. From here on, it's not even me playing anymore.
It's a good edit. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I worked really hard on it. I even got one that had the exact same amount of super missiles that I had in this section. It was really hard.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Would edit again.
Great.
What would you guys want to see from a new Metroid game, since we're never gonna get one?
A new Metroid game.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great. You hear that, Nintendo? That's all we ask.
That's the thing. I don't really need. So, the reality is, I don't actually really need another Metroid game. Like, if there's never another Metroid game, I'm kind of fine with that, because like, there's enough games coming out now that like do the Metroid thing. That like, do I need actual Metroid? Not really.
I think I just died a little inside.
It's like I would like it, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna be that sad about it. And I'm not that sad about it as it is.
There's
really.
just things they can do. Like, the Wii U was a missed opportunity for Metroid, because they could have totally pulled off a Star Fox Zero. Made, like, a Metroid Zero... Oh, wait, we have Metroid Zero Mission. But, like, you know, a Metroid thing where, like, you know, third-person perspective on the TV, and then a first-person perspective on the gamepad.
You realize that never worked very well on Star Fox Zero, though.
Yeah, based on that reception to that game, I don't think people are really clamoring for a Metroid Zero.
No, I as a person who has played Star Fox Zero, yeah, that entire sort of different screen perspective aiming thing, that was BS.
Okay, I liked it. I know I'm, like, the one person in the world who likes it. I thought it was cool. I liked being able to, like, you know, see things through the cockpit of their R-Wing, then look up.
It's cool, it just doesn't work.
How does it not work? Like, is it the controls, or is it just, like, the whole concept?
It doesn't work because because of the controls, and also because of inconsistency. Because you could, like, for example, it would be nice if you looked at the gamepad just sort of like a different way to look at it, but also as a way to sort of just a different sort of viewpoint, right? Like, you know how in some flight games you can look at it from a third person or a first person perspective. The problem with Star Fox Zero one is that aiming in a first person perspective is all that matters. How you aim in the third person perspective on your TV screen does not mean a thing.
Agreed. Yeah, it doesn't work.
But also, yeah. I think the problem, and one of the core problems with the Wii U, is that like it's cool that it's a second screen thing, and it's very much like
fights.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm gonna destroy this fool. It's one of those things that's it's like a really cool idea, and it's cool to have like, oh, we're gonna have something that is like the DS, but in a console thing. The problem is that like changing between the gamepad and your main TV, it takes your eyes like longer to switch between the console to the gamepad screen, much longer than it would when you have a DS where like the two screens are right beside each other. And so something like Star Fox Zero has this thing where when you are looking down at your gamepad and then looking up, the positioning has actually changed in that time.
Oh yeah.
So like Star Fox Zero is a thing that feels like it would actually work pretty well on a DS or a 3DS, but when you take that idea to a Wii U, just because of like the layout doesn't really fly.
Not only that, but it's like when you look at just how aiming works in that game, like you could have something aimed on your TV screen and even locked on that looks perfectly fine, but it won't hit because according to your touchscreen, that doesn't actually line up with whatever you're trying to shoot. Mm-hmm. So that is also a problem. But also the thing is like, it's not all bad. Like if it was like a different viewpoint that matched up with the top screen, or else just like a different sort of peripheral sort of vision, it would have been fine. Because like if you played Splatoon, like I love the fact that you can just sort of take a quick glance at the map on your thing and instantly know the layout of the map, and then switch completely back to the main screen and just know where everything is. It's just that nothing in Star Fox Zero lines up with each other, and the entirety of the aiming screen seems completely useless. Like I for example, the last boss in that game was kind of a nightmare, because you literally needed to aim with that thing and with the gamepad and the first person view. Meanwhile, you have to dodge everything being shot at you.
I will agree that, you know, if you're playing the way Star Fox Zero wants you to play, with the third-person perspective on the TV and the first-person on the gamepad, you're not going to be looking at the TV that much. Like, I recorded some footage of it, and when I went back, I recorded the third person, and I felt like I was watching it for like the very first time, because I'm like, wow, I've never actually really seen how it looks like in third person, because I'm always looking at the gamepad.
It's like watching a rhythm game. Kind of like where there's all this other stuff happening outside of the note lane, but like if you're playing the game, you're just paying attention to the note lane, and then you watch it and you're like, oh
yeah,
look at all these cool animations that are happening.
Probably the best metaphor to go along with this. But like the other thing is too, the default controls for Star Fox Zero are not what you want to go with, because yeah, that my first playthrough with the game was a nightmare. And Jordan, like you said, that the final boss, holy cow, like I could barely do it. But then I replayed it again with the other control scheme, and wow, the difference was exactly. They don't tell you that there's another control scheme there.
Wait,
I can't remember.
What other control scheme? I need to know this.
Yeah, it's the, you just have to go into the options and change the from the default to the alternate control scheme, and it feels so much better. I got through the game and had a blast with it. And honestly,
what's the difference?
What is it? I'm trying to remember what the difference is. It just felt so much more natural. I think it combined like the motion controls with like the button mapping a little better. And God, it's been a while. I talked about it on my solo Let's Play on Wade's channel, but yeah, it's very different. But it makes, I don't know why they didn't just make that the default controls, because the default controls are just a hot mess. So yeah, if you go back to that game, I recommend trying the other controls, because it just I need to replay it to be able to speak more eloquently on the matter, but it's just a lot better.
Speaking of which, since we are talking about Star Fox, who wants to see a Star Fox Metroid crossover?
No.
Let me think. Okay, so how would that? Okay, would this be like a comic book crossover where like they merge worlds and they end up fighting each other, because that's what happens in all the superhero crossovers, and even though they inevitably end up on the same side, and Andross and I don't know, Ridley team
Mother
up.
Brain.
Yeah, Mother Brain team up and stuff, and you have to work together to bring them down. I would play that game.
You know they actually did that recently. Well, they do that a lot, but they did that recently, since it's relevant now, with Power Rangers and the Justice League. As a comic book.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting. I know that there's a Power Rangers comic book that started a little while ago.
Yeah, but they recently made a crossover with the Justice League, and it's pretty entertaining.
Sure.
Huh. Like literally, the first issue ends with like Batman Batman in the Batmobile getting like kidnapped by the pterodactyl sword.